Hi there, my name's Sam from Nays Knits, and this is my first podcast. You'll find me on Instagram and on YouTube, and yeah, this is a very new experience for me. For someone who does not enjoy being photographed or videoed, this is strange, but I'm just gonna roll with it. Sod it, as they say. I'm from the UK, as you probably can tell by my accent, and I'm really sorry if I drop the odd swear word or lingo that you may not be familiar with, but if I catch myself I will apologise or explain what the hell I'm saying. So a little bit about myself. I am a fairly new knitter. I've been knitting for about 6 months. Just suddenly felt like trying it. I come from a family of knitters. My mum is a knitter, my grandmother was a knitter, so I'm used to being around knits, but I never really fancied doing it myself until now. Started about 6 months ago and then dropped myself right in it and decided to knit everybody a Christmas scarf. So I learned quite quick, as you can imagine, and I probably won't be knitting a scarf for a very long time now, especially with Mohair. That was an experience, but I gave myself a crash course in it, learnt from YouTube, bought myself a couple of books, got myself into watching podcasts, and now I'm knitting jumpers and learning lots of new techniques, and yeah, really enjoying it. I'm just finishing a sleeve, so excuse the twisty turny. So to a little bit more about myself, let's see. So yeah, I've been not knitting very long, so I'm hoping this podcast is a little bit more aimed between beginners and advanced beginners. I just feel like I love all the podcasts out there, and I've learned so much, but I just thought there was a little bit of a gap there for beginners who don't want to just watch tutorial videos, but just want to learn the lingo and what's out there and what yarn they should be looking at and what mistakes can happen if you get the wrong yarn and those kind of things. Just like trying to share my experience about learning about knitting. I will hopefully try new techniques like cabling and Fair Isle and things like that. So I really want to learn those kind of techniques. Those Norwegian jumpers are absolutely incredible. So that is up there with where I'm aiming to go. I did not knit the jumper I'm wearing now. One, because I've not knitted a jumper that I've been happy with until now. So this is a shop bought knit, but you know, maybe next time I'll be wearing something on my own. I am disabled, so hopefully I can also give a little bit of knowledge to those people out there that have craft shops, yarn shops, who are disabled themselves and looking at having a new hobby. If they're a bit bored at home and they just want to try something new that they doesn't require much energy and is quite meditative. So I'm disabled. If you see me out and about, I will be in my electric wheelchair called Tina, named after the famous Tina Belcher, infamous Tina Belcher, I should say, who I hope that when I am older, I am just like her, because she is incredible and I love her to pieces. So don't be surprised if there is footage of me in a wheelchair in this podcast, because I hope to show you around the local area where I live as well. The Nays is a nautical term. I live in the Essex countryside, well, ish. I live in a town surrounded by Essex countryside, by the sea, and I love it. I'm from around here, all my family around here, many generations, and I just adore it. It's a really good combination of being near to London, near to life, but also having the opportunity to be in the countryside. And it's a bit of a hidden secret, really, because in the UK, Essex ladies and the Essex countryside can be kind of ignored. and treated a little bit like they're not classy, where in fact, like, North Essex is very classy, quite spendy, but beautiful, absolutely stunning. Yeah, so, and the Naze is a part of the Essex coastline, which is known for fossils and things like that, and it's very dear to me. It's where I grew up and spent many a beach holiday with my grandmother looking at shells and things like that. So yeah, it's pretty cool. If you're into geology, yeah, you might want to check out the Naze. It's got red crag and stuff like that. I know nothing about it, but I know it's pretty, so worth checking out. Okay, actually talk about knitting now, I suppose. So I am currently finishing a Mother's Day present. I am quite impressed with myself. Kind of wish it was for me, but my mum deserves it, so it's fine. She's a stunning blonde, so I have knitted it in turquoise. It's a pretty cool, hang on, I don't want to slip off the needles because that'd be very annoying. So it is, I've done like a mock turtleneck, but I'm going to give her the option of folding it over because I'm not sure she'll like having a mock turtle. I'm a bit indecisive about the neck. But yeah, so I've gone for a raglan. It's not my first raglan, but it's my first completed raglan. I'll talk about that later. But yeah, it's a raglan. 2 colours of turquoise, light turquoise and dark turquoise. The wool is drops. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes because my memory is shot. Yeah, so it's drops and pull. I got it from Knittedhomelondon on Etsy. Great shop. If you want drops wool, Knittedhomelondon. They've got a good selection, really quick, and yeah, they're great. You put the order in, it's out the door. They're amazing. Really good prices as well. Yeah, so it's drops Nepal in aqua blue and sea blue. It's worsted weight. It's about 75 meters for 50 grams. So it's not great yardish, but it's cheap and really soft. It's an Alpaca Peruvian wool blend. So, but it's really soft and squishy, and it's got some good bounce, and it's good shape as well. It's really cool. I've gone for a split hem. The pattern, oh, help if I got the book. I have been working on raglans for a while, and I've tried a few different beginner patterns because I am a beginner and I like increases and decreases and stuff like that. I need a little bit of, you know, I can't just have it written out. I need a little bit of guidance because I'm a beginner, as you probably are as well. So I got this Ready Set Raglan. Gracie Girls recommended it, and I thought they know everything, so give that a whirl. And it is the first pattern, the Iris. This book is gorgeous, by the way. Iris, as you can see. And they just give you a lot of free reign. Basically, they encourage you to just go with it and just make it your own. So, and I found it really interesting to look through and basically choose what I wanted to do, and it just gave me the freedom, and it gives you all the, sorry if I'm making a horrendous noise, it gives you all like tutorials on the stitches and things. So you've got decreases, and it's pretty cool. It's worth it if you want to get into jumpers and you've just been struggling, you just think you can't do it. There's so many nice patterns in it, but I'll go into that later. Yeah, so this is the Iris. I will knit it again. I will knit it for me. I will knit it for my husband, probably, because he's already eyeing up this one. He can't have it. And yeah, I think I'll use this pattern regularly. It's great. It's very easy. Yeah, fits great. I'll hopefully at the end of this video put in a little bit of it finished, because it should be finished today. Like I said, I'm on Sleeve Island and I'm on the second sleeve, and it's got to be in the post tomorrow really, so I'll get it on the end of the video. Yeah, so what else I better put this one down so I can pick up another one. Okay, so talking about ones that I'll go into a frog because it's just more interesting, and then I'll go into what else I'm knitting in a minute. Right, hang on, liquid sustenance. I'm sorry if I'm rambling, it's new. Oh gosh, pardon me, sorry. Right, okay. So this is the one I started off knitting. I made a boo-boo and I thought, I didn't have the right needle. I just went a tiny bit smaller. Oh, I forgot to say, this one is a size 4. Just because I wanted to give my mum something snuggly and I didn't want to have her constricted or anything like that. And I didn't have her measurements, so. This is a size 3. But I just went for a okay, I'm going to be honest. I really don't like this wool. I don't know, I think probably because I've tried knitting with it a few times. It's really fluffy. I love the neon tweed. I don't know if you can see. Oh, gorgeous neon tweed. But it's like a single strand. And it's just a bit, it's really stretchy. It's got a lot of stretch in it. So I wasn't liking the draping. Also, it's got a bit of a yellow tinge to it, which it isn't coming across here. It's like a custardy colour. It's supposed to be ivory, but it's like, and on here it looks lovely, but in real life it's kind of custardy. And I wanted to have a bit of neon on the ribbing, so like I did neon on the end of the cuffs. I did a double rib. I prefer a double rib. I don't know what it is. It just looks nicer. I did the split hem. Really like the split hem. But with the pink, if you're from the UK, you're going to know who this is. It just reminds me of Mr. Blobby. And if you're a child from the 90s, Mr. Blobby probably haunts your nightmares. If you don't know who he is, have a Google. You completely get it. So this is getting frogged. Now, I know I'm insane because it is a lot of knitting. Like, this took me quite a while. But I'd rather frog it and use the wool somewhere else or sell it on, because I will never wear this, because I'll just be going blobby, blobby, blobby. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's not me. But I do love the pop of neon, and grocery girls are completely to blame for this, because I just, as soon as they said neon, I was like, yes. And then ever since then, everything has had some kind of neon tinge to it, apart from my mum's jumper. But I'm just like, oh gosh. So I have got a ball of it here. So it's like Hobbii. I will probably buy from you again, but it probably won't be this year. It's called Tweed Delight. Like you may like it, you know, it might like a different colour. I think it's just me and my personal preference. It's Tweed Delight. It's 85% wool, 10% acrylic, and 5% viscose. It's 50 grams, 100 meters. It's like an Aran weight. Like, yeah, I'm not sure about it. Maybe I'll make like a nice cardigan or something. I just need to do it without the pink, and then I'll be fine. I know I will be. The pink, it's a gorgeous pink. It drops there. I love drops, as you probably can tell, because the last jumper was drops. I think they're really accessible. The colours are gorgeous, and they've got so many things to choose from. But I found this one tricky as a first-time knitter. I'm probably using the wrong needles, because I'm learning about needles as well. So I was using Zings interchangeables, and I think I really need to have a wood one with this, because I was dropping stitches left, right and centre. So it's really soft and squishy. Oh gosh, it's so soft and squishy. It's one of those blown yarns, so I don't know if you can see. Ooh, I definitely feel like a podcaster now because I'm doing this. But it's like, it's blown into a tube. Oh, where's my notes? I can tell you exactly what's in it. Oh gosh, sorry. It is blah, 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 blah. No, come on. Sorry. It's 85% wool. No, that's the other one. 65% baby alpaca. I bet they're adorable. 28% polyamide and 7% merino wool. It is the softest thing. And I know people make jumpers just purely from this. So I will attempt it with better needles. It's 50 grams, 150 meters, Aran weight. Yeah. So, and this is the Magenta. I nearly said Magenta. Gosh. At least I didn't say Magneto. So, yeah. Really squishy. So I definitely recommend drops. Like I said, Knittinghomelondon is really good to source it. And also I've got drops from Rito as well. But it just takes a while because it comes from abroad. So if you're in the UK, check out Knittinghome It's really good. But then Rito sometimes have offers, so it's see what you fancy. Alright, okay, so yeah, this one's getting frogged. I'm going to be crying when I do that, because that took me quite a while. But, you know, blobby, blobby, blobby. Oh, gosh, I'm going to get this out of the way now. Okay, so, alright, what am I doing next? Drop spell because of course summer's coming up. Lovely linen viscose cotton blend. I should have done that the other way around because there's more cotton, but my apologies. So there was a bit of an offer on Rito for drop spell. I'm not sure if it's still on. So I ordered the navy and the light beige. It's a light worsted, 120 meters per ball. And I wanted to make some summer Raglan short sleeves, but then I held double. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, I'm in love. I just love, but it's really tricky to knit. I'm finding it quite hard. Probably just because of my mobility. I'm not great on the mobility, as you could probably tell. But I have started it, and I love it. I love it. But it's so tricky. So I'm waiting for the Crayabea, I think, to bring out her summer tea because it looks beautiful and I can't wait. And I think the whole knitting world is probably feeling the same way. But then I would like to see this as a jumper. So I may persevere or I may frog it. We'll see how it does on my hands. When I finish my mum's one, I'll probably pick it up again and give it a whirl, but oh, it's gorgeous. And it feels so soft. This drop spell, oh, it's beautiful. Really is beautiful. And held double, it's really chunky but cool to the touch. Yeah, so it's Egyptian cotton blend. What's it? 53% cotton, 14% linen and 33% viscose. Now I had to Google what viscose was. Viscose is a semi-synthetic cellulose, regenerated cellulose, also known as rayon. So it comes from like wood and things like that. So it is natural still, but it's had a little bit of help. So yeah, feels okay though. Yeah, it's better than having it plastic though. So, but if you use plastic, that's fine. It's fine. It's your thing, but I just choose not to. Living by the sea and things like that, I just don't really want to do that. Okay, so next one. Oh, I haven't yet cast on. This is my dream one. Let me just get some bits. Get some bits. So, like quite a lot of the knitting world, I purchased this book. I know, not quite the beginner's book, but oh, I can't resist. This book is so beautiful. So my first idea was first plan was to cast on the darter, which is stunning. And I got all the wool for it, and then I realised it's garter stitch. Well, not quite garter stitch, reverse stockinette, lots of purling. I'm not sure I'm ready to do that. Also, there's another reason, and I don't know where I've put my needles. Where have I put my needles? That's on the floor, that's where it's gone. Sorry. And another reason is I brought the most beautiful mohair, and it looks so much better in stockinette than garter, or pearl I should say. So I'm kind of umming and ahhing on doing the confluence instead. Confluence, which is very beautiful. But it was a little bit more relaxed than I wanted to go. I kind of wanted to get like a little bit fancy and show off a little bit with the ruffles and stuff, but purling, a whole jumper of purling. But I'll show you the swatch. The swatch, you'll get what I mean, because you can see a little bit of it here. This mohair is incredible. Like, okay, sorry. So this is what I've swatched. You can see what I mean now. Okay, so I have swatched woolly knit, merino in Plata, that one of their new colours. It's like a cool sorry. It's a cornflower blue, kind of lilac toned colour. It's coming up very purple on here, but it's a really soft lilac-y cornflower blue, with some little blue speckles occasionally through it. Can you see? Now, woolly knit I've heard of, and I was like, oh yeah, and I've seen it on the other podcasts. This is not gifted. None of this wool is gifted, as it is my first podcast. But I saw on Well Love Knits, she had a voucher code for 20% off. I think it's like Bethany20 for a cow. Definitely check it out. And I thought I'd go and have a look, you know, 20% off, you can't moan, can you? And then I saw each cone is 500 grams. It's £28, which you're like, it's 500 grams. This could do me 2 jumpers held double with mohair, or 1 jumper if I didn't. If I held it double for DK. Yeah, so it's 4-ply. So it's 2,350 meters. You can't whinge at that, can you? And it's so soft. Beautiful wool. They've got so many colours. I've got a few more cones, but I'll show them next time because I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them yet. Yeah, so that is my main colour. So if I'll show you the swatch again. I held it with a drops. It was, I can't remember what this one is. Like light beige, drops, alpaca, silk. And I do like that. I might do that for my second jumper. Can you see? It gives it like a grey vibe with a hint of, but it's really fluffy. And for what I want it to be, I want it to be a much thinner knit. I kind of want it to be for that transitional. And if it's all thick and fluffy, I'm just going to wear it in the winter. I want it something like this, nice and light. Again, this one also is drops alpaca silk in Cobalt, a stunning colour. This one here, what? Look at that colour. Knit's really nice, but it's so fluffy. So if I do the confluence, which one was it called? I have forgotten what it's called. Confluence. Yeah, I was right. Oh, well done. I'll probably do this for the detail on the cuffs and have this in the stockinette, and just have this on like the ribbing, just because it brings out these colours. So for the main event, you ready? I went on Etsy, found Cheshire yarns. Oh, Oh my goodness. This Mohair silk. Again, you get good value for money with this. You really do. If you're holding it double with the woolly knit, you only need 2 skeins of this. Still not your cheapest jumper, but you know, comparative to the drops, you need quite a few drops for the same price as this, you know. Anyway, so this is Cheshire Yarn. You'll find them on Etsy. This one's called New Day. It's Superkid Mohair silk, lace weight 500 grams, 420 meters. So you get quite a lot for your money. This is honestly like cobwebs with mermaid tears. Like, the colours are absolutely stunning. Like, as soon as it arrived, I ordered another skein because I just needed the whole jumper in it. As soon as I knitted it up on that little swatch, wrong one, little swatch, I was like, a whole jumper. Because originally I was just buying this for the ruffles because I really liked the yarn, and I was like, but no. I'm gonna go, if I do the ruffles, I'm gonna do them in this, I should say, in front of my face, in the Cobalt Drops Alpaca. But this is the main event. So I'll show it to you as pearl, a reverse stockinette, I should say. Like, it still looks good. It still looks good, but you get a lot of the silk. It's just like a mermaid. It's just so vibrant and luminous. It's absolutely stunning. I just really like it on the stockinette. I feel like the colours are just a little bit more vibrant, and it just shows the beauty of it more. Still get that iridescence, but yeah, I'm not loving the garter. Like, feel free to use the garter, you know, but for me personally, it's stockinette all the way. Absolutely stunning. So yeah, so I did another little patch thing for my, oh, look at it, even in the ruffles it's been beautiful. But yeah, I'm thinking, so I did the same ones again. I've got the New Day Cheshire Yarns, Drops Cobalt Alpaca, and Drops Light Beige Alpaca there, and then hold it with, it's just so beautiful. Yeah, so yeah, I'm definitely going to be buying more Cheshire. So I'm really looking forward to sorry, excuse me. I'm really looking forward to knitting that up. I may do it before my summer knit, just so I can get a little bit aware of it before the season turns. But like I said, I want to keep it quite light so I can wear it on a chilly summer day. Or probably not a summer day. We get 40-degree heat now. Who thought that in fucking England? Anyway, yeah, so lovely book. I'm hoping I'll be all right at it. There's a few things that I haven't worked on yet. So there's a provisional method which I haven't cast on using a crochet hook before. There is no like how to do things in this book. So the one thing about this book is it isn't for beginners. So it doesn't give you any tips and tricks on how to do things. Like the pom-pom ready set raglan. So you will have to Google and YouTube all the different little things. And there's short rows as well, which I've never done. And I've tried a yoke increase before and didn't go well. So I'm going to give it a whirl. I can always frog it. That's the thing, isn't it? I can always frog it. It's not wasted. The thing with sewing is you're using fabric, and if you make a mistake, you know, it's a lot of money. Whereas knitting, you just unravel it. It's fine. It's fine. So yeah, so what's next? Oh, I talked about the frogging. Yeah, so that's what I've got going on at the moment. I've got some more acquisitions, but I'm not going to show them just yet because it's the first podcast and it's a bit acquisition heavy because, you know, I'm showing you everything and I don't want people to think that you have to keep buying stuff to knit. So hopefully I'll be showing you how to, I could show you how to frog as well, I suppose. and keep reusing things. So if I do frog something, I'll hopefully show you what I've done with it instead. Something a bit more suitable maybe. Like I said, I might make a cardigan out of this, because like I've got cardigans, like shop bought cardigans that are made out of similar stuff. So I'll probably love this when it's a cardigan, or like a big cream just not mixed with blobby pink. So I'll probably do that. Show you. So I have just brought the most amazing, they call it a zip pocket case needle holder, interchangeables. It's from Knittingbagandcase Etsy. It's got adorable ducks on. Has anybody seen what's her name? Brain. Don't worry. Got adorable ducks on. Look at these ducklings. Like, I'm not a duck fanatic, but oh, they're so cute. My dream is to one day have a white duck though, called Jemima Puddlequack. So there we go. One day I will have a pond with a duck. And it is beautiful. Beautiful. So it's got a leather wraparound thing. Oh, I've got it upside down. Eep. Ah! Oh, nearly died. Got attacked by scissors. Okay. And what I love about it is it was really easy to customize. So you can choose what size needles. Got lots of needle pockets, which is great for your interchangeables. I've even got my scissors in there and stuff. Ignore this, I've just put on my interchangeable thingy so I don't lose it. And then I've got all my interchangeable cables in here. Yeah, definitely go for them again. They've got some lovely little origami wool project bag type things. So I'll probably buy one of those next. But it's got like hessian inside, but you don't have to have hessian. You can have canvas or something else instead. Yeah, so I was really impressed by this. I'd rather support these kind of businesses than the old Amazon, and Etsy definitely make it easier. Yeah, oh, I was going to talk about needles and I'm putting them away. So as part of the beginner kind of thing, I tried the old normal straight needles. Not for me, not great for my accessibility, maneuverability. My hands can get sore and tired and things, so I need something light, something easy to move without any hassle. So I've been using the Zing interchangeables by Knit Pro. Great for chunky yarn, great for any yarn really. It's so light, it just doesn't add any bulk to your knitting. Really quick, easy to use. Does make a little bit of tick 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 tick, as my husband says, but you know, I love them. Started using their basic birch ones for when I'm using the Mohair. Love these, they're so light. If you ever played the game Pick Up Sticks, it's like those. They're great. So I've only been using them a couple of days, but yeah, I really like those. I know there's lots of other versions and stuff, but I just find these really easy to get hold of, especially on Amazon. I know Amazon. And they're not expensive. So like an interchangeable cable, normally about £2, you know, with free postage. You can't complain about that, can you? And then the needles themselves are normally a couple of quid up to £5, depending on what thickness you go and what the algorithm's saying. So yeah, I like using the Knit Pro Zings. As a beginner, what I've been doing is just buying them when I need a certain size. So I haven't bought the whole set straight away. So they can be quite expensive when you do that. It's like £40 for a set. But you haven't got all the sizes you need. Like you might need a 4.5 and they only got 4, or, you know. So I've just been buying them as I need them. And I'm getting quite a good set now. There's still some sizes I haven't got, but you know, you can't win them all. But for a couple of quid every time you do a different knitting project, and then you'll have them all. So I've been doing it that way, and I'm getting quite a good set now. yeah, so it's a good beginner's tip. Don't buy the kit. Go straight for, just buy them as you need them on the old Amazon or other stores. You know, there are other stores out there. Yeah, so I've been doing that. What else? Yeah, so I wanted to make it a little bit more accessible as well. That's my aim for this podcast. I'm not saying that other podcasts aren't accessible, you know, they may be accidentally accessible without even trying, but I just wanted to be a bit more accessible to the disabled community. I also want to, like, you shouldn't turn off at this bit at all or fast forward to another bit, because it's helpful if you are part of the community or have your own store, that you're aware of these kind of things and, you know, help us out a bit. Because there is, since becoming a knitter, when I try and go into local yarn stores, which I want to support my local community, I can't get in them. I totally get it. When you go and look at shops and you go to rent one, you want to get the pretty shop, you know. You go for the pretty shop. Some shops are, it's England, some of the shops are in traditional buildings, they've got steps, got narrow doors. You have a lot of stock, you know, things like that. But the disabled community is a big, varied community. And if you don't make your shop accessible, you're losing out. Because if you're not accessible, you're saying to us you don't want us there. So we won't support you. And in an area like mine, I live by the coast and we have a huge retirement and disabled community. And all the knitting shops around here are closing down. But it's because they're not accessible. Like, half the community is on a mobility scooter. You're like, what are you doing? And you want to help them out, but, you know, they don't help themselves. So if you have a shop with a step, see if you can invest in a ramp. I know they're expensive, but if you think about what proportion of the community is disabled, or even prams, you know, you're helping out the ladies with the prams as well, or the gentlemen with the prams, I should say. You're missing out a large demographic there, and they're just going to go online and they're not going to support you, but they want to support you. So, you know, be welcoming. Make sure. I know it's hard because these take up a lot of room. Well, maybe not this one, but, you know, they take up a lot of room. And if you want to offer so much colours and textures and things like that, you've got a lot of stock. But we need to have, like, an aisle that we can go down without knocking things over and making ourselves look really noticeable. Because being a disabled person, you just want to be treated the same. You don't want the extra fuss. You don't want to be noticed. You want to be, well, somewhat want to be noticed, but I particularly don't want to be noticed. I'm quite a shy person, even though I'm talking to a camera right now. But I'm talking to a camera. I'm not talking to like hundreds of people, and I don't have to release this. But yeah. We just want to be left alone, if that makes sense. We don't want to be noticed. We don't want jokes. We don't want comments. It's a big thing in our community. We just want to be treated like everybody else, and we don't want fuss. That's the big thing. I just don't want fuss. So I just want to be able to roll into a shop and roll out again and buy everything that I want, you know. So if you want a business tip, make your business accessible. Simple. And I'm just talking on behalf of a wheelchair user. I'm not talking on behalf of the disabled community who need other needs. I'm not talking about sight impairedness or anything like that. Just have a think. Like, have you had anybody disabled come in your shop recently? If not, is there a reason? Yeah. But that's just my little disabled tuppence worth there. Yeah, so what's next? So the whole reason for me starting this podcast is I wanted to become a bit more involved with the community, the knitting community. And being disabled, I can't really, it's a bit hard for me to get out there and meet knitters. Either there isn't much in this area, to be fair. I think there's something at the local library, but I can't really get there without support from my husband. Just because my house isn't accessible as it could be. We haven't been in this house very long and we're renovating, hence why it looks so nice in this corner. But the rest of the house is a work in progress. Yeah, so what was I saying? Yeah, okay. So I just want, there's a lot of really good podcasts out there and some I really adore and they've taught me so much. The reason I wanted to do it was, balls, the cable's in the way. No, there we go. Yeah, so the reason I wanted to do it was I haven't been disabled that long. I have been, but I didn't know. Sorry, I've got my knees up. I look really cozy, don't I? Yeah, I haven't been disabled that long. Probably officially about 2.5 years. I think I've always been disabled, but it's just like really kicked off in the last 2.5 years. I kept getting ill, but I didn't know what it was. I worked with children, and as you know, children can be a little bit germy. I worked in early years and I loved it. I was doing really well. I was really top in my career, but I just kept getting ill and I thought it was flu, but it wasn't flu. And then I just had a sudden kind of cold type thing and got something called reactive arthritis. Well, they think it was reactive arthritis, but in fact it was just the disability going, right, I'm here and I'm not going anywhere. So now I'm a wheelchair user and I'm fine with that. I love my wheelchair. It gives me so much freedom. Don't ever look at a wheelchair user as someone to pity, because that wheelchair gives them so much freedom. So I love my wheelchair. Tina, she's awesome. Yeah, so, but being disabled and recently moving to where I live, I am from this area, but I've moved back. I've been living in Bedford for quite a while, but now I live on the Essex coast, and it really happened at the same time as I'd make my new friends. Like, I made a few friends, but like no one like I can really rely on, you know. So it's very isolating. Like, my friends from Bedford are too far away to know what's going on, and I suppose I haven't really been communicating of what's going on because I don't want the pity, which, you know, that's a me thing. It's not a them thing. Like, it's not like they would pity me. It's just I just don't want to have the, you know, oh no. So yeah, I need to get out and about, and I can't really get out and about without my husband, because I need him to drive me and help me get the wheelchair out of the house, because the house isn't exactly accessible at the moment. So I need to get out and meet people, and this is me getting out and meeting people without having to get out, if that makes sense. But I hope to get out in the future and make my house accessible and things like that, and we are working on it. But also I have an energy limiting condition, so I don't always have the energy to leave the house. There's something called the Spoonie method, which it's basically, I only have so much energy in a day, and the things that you take for granted you may take for granted, I should say, to do on your daily life would take me a lot more of my energy to do. So say like brushing your hair, you probably just do it without thinking, but for me that would take a lot of my energy. I have brushed my hair today, but you know, it's silly things that take up the energy, like washing up. Oh my goodness, that if I washed up instead of having a dishwasher, I wouldn't be able to do anything else for the rest of the day, which sounds crazy, but you know, it's just one of those things. But sometimes I have really good days and I can leave the house, and you know, anyway, I'm wittering on a bit there. So yeah, I just want to meet people in the knitting community and just like, I know there's lots of lovely people out there, and I know the internet's a really good way of meeting people. So yeah, I just want a really inclusive, a lovely podcast where everyone's welcome. Everyone should feel free to chat to me if you have your own business and need a little bit of help to just get a bit of notice. So I'm hoping to put some little bits of C-spam in this video so you can see a bit of our natural area and see where I'm getting my inspiration from. Made it to the end. I'm really glad that you did, and drop me a message if you're out there and you find my little video, you know. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know if there's any other podcasts I should be watching, any creators I should be aware of. If you have a business of your own and you know you want someone to give you a shout out and you're to do with yarn, let me know. I'm quite happy to have a look and see if I can help you. And if you have any accessibility tips to do with knitting yarn, if you have arthritis and you don't even really, you just like little tips, let me know. And I'll have a look at those and try and include them as well, because sharing is caring. And thank you for joining me, and I hope there is part 2 at some point. Like I said, I'm going to what's it called? East Anglia Yarn Festival next weekend, hopefully, if I'm feeling well enough. And I'll get some footage so you can have a nosy. And yeah, thank you for joining me. Bye. My name's Sam from Nays Knits. You'll find me on YouTube and Instagram. This is my first podcast. Yeah, doing okay. Haven't gone up on screens. That's good. Okay, so you'll find me on Instagram and YouTube. Oh my goodness. This is my first podcast.